Kennedy Victor, Director, Marketing and Business Development for one of the leading diagnostic and medical device Danish company, Radiometer Medical Apps, a Deneher Group company. Kennedy Victor is a hardcore marketing professional with more than 2 decades experience in healthcare industry, a management graduate from the University of Bombay. Mr. Kennedy started his career as a sales professional and then moved into product management in pharmaceutical industry. Later he worked as a product manager South Asia region for Medtronic India, the world's leading medical device company, cardiac surgery division. During his stint at Medtronic, he got trained in US and France for their heart valve divisions. Presently, he is the Director of Marketing and Business Development for Radiometer India. He is qualified trainer for one of the Deneher business system tools. He travels across the country regularly training doctors, nurses, biochemists and lab technicians on avoiding pre-analytical errors in blood gas testing. Recently, he started conducting training on problem-solving process to other operating companies of Deneher Corporation. On behalf of our faculty and students, we welcome you, sir. We request you, sir, to come and share our valuable knowledge.
Good afternoon to everyone, and thanks for the kind introduction. Today, I feel privileged that Dr. Angurajan has invited me to give a talk to the students about your employability in the corporate world. As the introduction says, I have been training regularly to doctors, surgeons, nurses, biomedical engineers, and lab techs on certain aspects of the diagnostic business. So I thought it's a privilege to have in a young group like this. I have never done this in front of the students. So if I get a cat call or whistle, I should take it in my stride because it's a different audience. Okay, before I talk about the topic that was suggested by Dr. Angurajan is what a prospective employer looks for for employment. Because this is the biggest challenge as a corporate representative. We feel like you do a 4 years professional course, and when you come back and when you come into the marketplace for employment, we find very often the person is not all that suitable for the job. So you get disappointed that you are not getting a job, and we get disappointed that we are not getting the right people. So there's a challenge, mismatch. So this session, what I'm going to talk about is nothing about biomedical engineering, nothing technical. I will not talk anything about diagnostic. I will give our perspective from the corporate, what we look for in you when you finish your graduation. Before I start, I would like to tell you about who we are. Radiometer is a global company. It's a Danish company based in Copenhagen, Denmark. We operate in almost 123 countries across the globe, based out of Denmark in North Europe. And we started our operation, direct operation in India in the year 2017, based out of Bangalore. I am based out of Bangalore. We are part of a big conglomerate. We are part of a big group. A conglomerate in the sense like Tata company is a conglomerate. From salt to cars, trucks, they make everything. So we are part of a group called Deneher, which is an American company, which is a $20 billion company. Deneher has got almost 70 to 80 companies under its fold, including Radiometer. Every day in your life, somewhere in your life, we say there is a Deneher company touching your life. You never know the water you are drinking. There is a company, American company called HARC, which tests the alkalinity and purity of water. So probably the water you are drinking is tested by a Deneher company. The next time when you go to the petrol station to fill petrol, you see the petrol vending machine with the pipe. You see the name of the machine, it's Gilbarco, which is a US company, which is a Deneher company. You go to a dentist or a dental hospital, the chair you sit, the dental imaging X-ray, the dental filling is by a company called Cabo. This is a German company, which is a Danaher company. So we are a big conglomerate. Okay. Now, Radiometer is basically into acute care testing. When we say acute care testing, it is into emergency department, ICUs. We have machines. Some of the portfolios of our machine is the blood gas analyzer. I was talking to Dr. Anburajan. Probably we should have this in one of your beautiful labs. I got to see your labs. One of the instrument that should have is blood gas, because any hospital you walk in, any ICU which is worth its salt, big ICUs, will have these machines. These machines measure your O2 and CO2 in your body, oxygen and carbon dioxide, plus your electrolytes like sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride. So this is essential for a body to see your lung function. If the patient has to be put on a ventilator or not, you need to have a blood gas analyzer. Invariably, you need a biomedical support to run the machine smoothly. Because these machines are in the ICU, the nurses handle it. And the nurses sometimes mishandle it. It's not their fault. Nurses are trained to take care of patients, not machines. So when they use these sophisticated machines, sometimes the machine fumbles and struggles. At that time, a biomedical engineer is required. So in a hospital, a biomedical engineer is a very important part of the ICUs or emergency department. We have transcutaneous monitoring devices which non-invasively measures the oxygen levels, carbon dioxide, especially in newborn babies, neonates it's there. And I have my colleague Hari Prasad, who is an application specialist for this, and he is ex-SRM. So it's very important that we have the right people in our company, because next time I was telling to some of your members, when I get a CV from SRM, probably I will look at it more carefully, because I have a person who is doing well. So I estimate, Radiometer estimate SRM as a certain caliber. So if it's a product of SRM, then probably he is good. That's a reflection of what Hari has done so far. If he is not doing well, then there's a reversal. So that's very important, and we also have an immunoassay. Now, as I told you, I am so comfortable talking to doctors and nurses about the medical side of the business and clinical side of the business. But when this topic came, this is never I have thought about it, I have never prepared. But I said probably I will give my perspective of what it is. Now, if you go into Google and start searching employability of a new candidate or new graduate, then you can get diamond dozen sites talking about what an employer looks for. My objective is not that. I'm not going to talk to you about all those things. That's easy, that's textbook. But what I'm going to talk to you about is what we as an industry look for in it. So I thought about 10 points I will broach upon probably in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, so that I finish it fast, because I don't want to stand between you and the lunch. I know it's nearing lunchtime. We have a challenge as a trainer, as I was introduced, I'm a trainer, certified trainer in a couple of these things. As a trainer, it's always a challenge, pre-lunch and post-lunch. It's like if in diabetes they call it pre-prandial and post-prandial. So post-prandial is more challenging because the food effects take place. Similarly, pre-prandial is also because your thoughts are about what is the menu in the canteen today, what should I eat, so probably it distracts the flow. So I thought I'd share something very simple and make it as simple as possible and as interesting as possible. So when you get into a job market, there are certain things which you need to predict. It's very important. How many of you are final year, fourth year? Can you raise your hand? 3, 4. Third year? Very good. Majority of third year. It will be an interactive session. I may ask some questions also. So just to make sure that you are alert. Okay. It's very important. If you are in third year and fourth year, you are in the cusp. You are in the cusp of becoming like a boy to a man, a girl to a woman, or from a student to a professional employee. So it's very important you should know what you are to do. Okay. So probably the points which I am going to say, please listen carefully. whatever is possible that can sink into it, your mind, please take it, because it can help you to get a job faster and to get in a good company. One is you can get a job, you have to get a job in a good company. Okay. The first and foremost which we look for, which as an employer I see, is your CV, your resume. Your resume has to be clear and it should be simple. Sometimes if I get, you know how many resumes you get in a job? If I ask for a biomedical engineer or a sales job, I get around 50 on an average. 50 CVs unfiltered for one post. And out of the 50, I can easily say around 27 to 30 are engineers. Biomedical or general engineers are there. Then you have the ordinary graduates, postgraduates. So what we do is the HR filters. I don't have time to interview 50 people. So they filter and they give 20. Out of the 20, I said, okay, you line up. I look at the 20 and I say, you line up 5 or 6 candidates out of it for a telecon interview. Out of the 6, we select 3 and we go for a Skype interview. Because students, this generation is very smart, some are over smart. So when you ask about the company, he may be in front of his laptop Googling. So he will tell answers fat like this and I will not know whether it's his real knowledge or Google knowledge. So then you have a Skype interview, and Skype interview also helps to see the body language, very important. The body language of the candidate will know how good the candidate can be. So out of that, we may call 2 people for a personal interview. So my time with the candidate is only for 2 people. And there I justify by giving a lot of time to the candidate because I have screened. And that person has come with all expectations. So I really assess. And finally, if it is done, then we offer. So the first point is resume. If your resume is wrong, you will not come even to the second level. And when I say resume, please be careful about the spelling mistakes. English is a foreign language to all of us. I hope there is no English British guy here. So it's a foreign language to all of us. So we don't expect a Shakespearean English, but we expect a good English. I feel sometimes really pity when I see spelling mistakes in a word. I see grammatical mistakes. And you are talking to medical profession. When I'm calling someone for an application specialist like Hari, or I'm calling a sales and service, you are not going to talk to the Kirana wala selling shampoo or toothpaste. You are talking to a highly qualified professional, doctors, super specialists. So your English has to be good, your vocabulary has to be good. How many of you read newspaper? How many of you read English newspaper? How many of you read Hindu? Good. Please read English newspaper because we see people reading vernacular newspaper even today. Okay, you are comfortable in your mother tongue, that's fine. But also read English newspaper. Why I said Hindu is predominantly South India based. Hindu gives you strong words. You improve your vocabulary. When I was a kid, I was trained by my parents to have a dictionary next when you read the Hindu. I'm talking about when I was in 5th standard, 6th standard. So if I know it, if you have seen the editorial yesterday, it was talking about reclusive reticence. How many of you know the meaning of reticence? It was talking about Narendra Modi and a nice article. This is the beauty of Hindu. When you read about reticence, you don't know, then you start searching it in the dictionary. Today you don't have to buy a big dictionary. Dictionaries, apps are available in your mobile phone. You learn that word, you improve on it, you will be better than your competitor in the interview. So it's very important that you know the right English and you have the right resume. So the next in resume is, besides English, is resume should not be 5-page, 6-page. We don't want to know a long story about you. Sometimes in the resume, they talk about their credentials, which is good. When you achieve something, you have to do it. But I am not interested in 6th standard, you won the first prize in drawing competition. I am not interested. You presented a paper in a journal in Biomedical final year. That's more interesting. Because that tells you that your academic frame of mind. Or if you have done something really achievable, mention that. CVs, please make it sweet and short. 2 pages, maximum 3 pages. We don't have time to go through 6 pages. Just 2 pages is simple, and that's an art. That's an art. To write a love letter is easy, but to send a telegram is difficult. Telegrams are expired now, but those are 1 or 2 seconds. To say the same message in 2 lines is a challenge, and that's what CV is. What is good in you, you should tell very short, and that also reflects a personality. So that's the first thing where you start. Be serious about what you are looking for in a job. Look out for the company, do a Google search, talk to your seniors, you talk to people who are in the industry, try to find out. One of the things which we also look at is, when you are going for an interview, try to go to the place, the office, try to find out where it is and go, so that you are not late for the interview. I selected a person because in Bangalore, traffic is always bad. And the place, normally I ask, is it easy for you to find the place? Did you have difficulty in finding it? This guy told me, sir, yesterday I came and I saw the place, find out the place, and he was hired. The guy was serious. The day before, he went and located the place, and then he saw this is the place, so tomorrow I'll come early on time. I get really bugged when I see people, 10 o'clock interview, they come at 10:15, huffing and puffing, saying, I'm sorry sir, I missed the bus, I have to run traffic or something. Invariably, you will not get selected. At least if I am on the other side of the table, I will not select. Because when we go for an appointment with the doctor gives an appointment at 10:30, you might as well be there at 10:25. At least 10:30. You can't go at 10:40, doctors are doctors. Invariably, we have a bad IST time, Indian stretchable time. We take everything, we stretch, everything is chalta hai. So this chalta hai attitude is good in the college. When you step out of the college, please remove that and be serious. Because that shows the seriousness that you need a job. The guy comes relaxed and he is cool about it, he is not worried about a job, then I will not give a job. I will give a job to a person who really needs a job. Because he will work for the job. He will be passionate about the job. That's important. Job is not for salary. Salary is incidental. Job is your career. If you do it correct, your salary will follow you. That's the second point which I did. Third, which we all know, basic, just be smart and clean and good looking. Today the fashion is to have a beard for men. There is no harm in keeping a beard, but make sure that it is trimmed. You can't have a beard which is just unshaven, those things are not good. Well pressed clothes, good shoes, it reflects the individual. Because why I am saying this, in the college you can go whatever, because we all have gone through the college here. So we know it. College you can dress whatever you want. But when you go to the corporate, it's different. And remember, you are a biomedical engineer. If you are going to an IT job, that's a different thing. If you are going for a BPO, I don't know, maybe different. You can go with a jean and a t-shirt, you may get hired also. But when you are coming for a biomedical, in a corporate company like this, and especially you are applying for a multinational, you better be smart, good looking. That applies even for women. When you are dressed up, make sure that your dress is neat and clean when you come for an interview. Hair is well groomed, we don't want any, it's not bias, I am not saying anything. But if you come in a different style of hairstyle, a very haphazard way, it reflects the personality. So it may be good for another industry. I am talking about medical industry, about a corporate world. You are reflecting the company. When Hari Prasad goes to, say for example, he goes to Pondicherry and he meets a doctor and says that I am from Radiometer, and he gives a card. The doctor knows Radiometer. He represents Radiometer Denmark. He is not representing as a young boy from Raipur who has finished in SRM. He is a brand ambassador for Radiometer. So he reflects. So when you go and stand in front of the customer, you reflect the company. So it's very important that you look good. It's communication. If you are looking for a job in sales and marketing or application, it's communication. Communication has to be really, really good. For that, You should speak in English. Yesterday we were in a hospital. The nurse was still, she did not understand. She never knew that I can speak Tamil. So she was speaking for almost 30 minutes and then she said, "Sir, I never knew that you can speak Tamil. I would have spoken in Tamil." I said, "I don't want you to hear in Tamil. Because you speak in English, you improve your English and you become more confident." So it's all about communication, how precisely, clearly you speak. It's very important in the con-call interview. In a personal interview, maybe you can impress with your dress, you are good looking, you can impress. So communication, okay, you can still manage it. But in a telecom, the other person doesn't know how you are. He can assess you only with your communication. So please make it a point to communicate clearly and to the point. When you talk about it in an interview, they will ask you in general about what's your hobby. What do most of them say? They say my hobby is reading or watching TV. Some of them talk in length about their hobby, which I am not interested in knowing about. That's your person. When I say about a hobby, hobby is an indicator about what the person is about. If a guy is a sports person, he likes sports, then his personality is different. So it's all about personality mapping. In marketing, we call it as brand image building. Suppose, I just give, to make you understand what is brand image building, we all do it. Subconsciously, we all do it. If I take two cars, I take Maruti 800, now it's Alto. Let me take Maruti 800 Alto and let me take a BMW X5. Most of you must be boys, must be knowing X5. Tell me, if Maruti Alto is a human being, what will be his age? Anyone from the group?
35.
35. What will be the dress he is wearing? He will be wearing?
Retro collection.
Sorry?
Retro kind of dress.
Retro kind of dress, okay. And what will be the watch he is wearing? Titan. Okay.
HMT.
What will be his age? 35. Fine. And now let's look at BMW X5. X5 is a sort of SUV. Okay. Now what will be his age? BMW X5? 20. What will be the dress he is wearing? Sorry?
Armani.
Armani jeans or a suit?
Suit.
Suit. Armani watch? Rolex. You are putting an image about a brand. We all do it. It's an image. That's what marketing is all about. You create an image about your brand. And you and I are a brand. When you go in front of it, when you start talking, I map you. I say this is the person, this is his personality. I already formed an image. Just like the example of Alto and BMW. So we form an image about it. So your communication will tell you. Sometimes communication need not be an excellent, as I told you, a Shakespearean English or any other English. Suppose you have studied in a colloquial vernacular medium. You come from a small place and then you studied in SRM University. So you picked up your English and you are now speaking okay. That's fine, because when you look at the CV, when you look at the school, you look at the school, you look at the college, and then you know. So if your English is not all that good, that is still acceptable, but your communication has to be clear. You have to make it very clear the point you are expressing without creating confusion. In CV, we sometimes find tall claims. When we dig a little deeper about the claim, we find he has picked it up from somewhere from his friend and he has lugged in his CV, which is not correct. Be honest. You have dropped 2 papers in the 3rd semester and then you have cleared it. If the interviewer is asking, did you carry any arrear, you better tell, yes, we carry. Be honest, be straightforward. It carries a lot of value. It's basically integrity. This is not taught in college. This is not taught in offices. It has to come from the family, from your upbringing. And integrity is very, very important in a corporate world. Especially if you are working with an American company. Integrity, it's called compliance. If you are not in compliance with certain things, you lose your job the next minute. You are not supposed to give money take money, right? Something like that. There are many points. So if you have sexual harassment in workplace, it's one thing. You can't have a regional based comment. You cannot have a physical based comment. The person is fat, obese, or dark. You can't make comment on the person. Hey, mota hai, moti hai. The moment if it is complaint, you lose your job. So you have to be honest, you have to be candid, you have to be clear. And this is very important. This is very, very important in the workplace. You don't work in isolation. It's a teamwork. So very often what happens is, after a college atmosphere, when you go into a workplace, you are enthusiastic, you want to prove yourself, and you want to show that you are capable, you are an achiever. But in this process, you can't do it alone. You need to have the whole team with you. You need to have your support team. You need to have your colleagues' support. You need to have, in an office, if you are in the sales, how many of you are interested in sales? Only one. Others are interested in research, teaching. Okay. Even if you are in even in research and teaching, you can't be a standalone person. You need to have your colleagues' support. You need to have your team support. It's a teamwork. Whether you are in sales, whether you are in teaching, whether you are in R&D, whether you are in this in a medical profession, I can tell you, I was just sharing my experience. I was handling the heart valve, cardiac surgery patient. So most of the time I have to be the OT and CM or open heart surgery. And in open heart surgery, we are trained to do the suturing techniques, which we can't do it on the patient because I'm not a doctor, but I guide the doctor how to do the suturing techniques, how to do certain things. Okay, now a surgeon cannot work in isolation alone. He may be the best surgeon. He needs his first assistant nurse next to him. He needs a lab technician. He needs a perfusionist who is a heart and lung machine operator. If they work as a team, only thing when the patient is doing well after post-surgery, the credit goes to the doctor. Because you don't see the nurse, you don't see the perfusionist, you don't see it. But the doctor takes the credit, but he shares it with the team. Have you ever seen Dhoni lifting the cup? Whether it is Champions Cup or World Cup, have you seen Dhoni lifting the cup after the initial receiving it? He is an excellent leader. He gives, always you see the players lifting the cup and enjoying the moment because it is a team effort. He recognizes the team. So when you are working, this is an important character they see in the interview. They look at it, can he be a part of the team? If he is part of the team, then I can look at it. How do you see that? How do you say that? How do we know that he is not a team player? Any guess? Self. Precisely. Me, myself. I did this. In the college, I organized the program. In the college, I did the cultural program. In the college, I was the secretary and doing all these things. Avoid that. So I'm part of the team. We worked together. We did this cultural program. I led the team. But it was the team which has done this. So when you give certain hints like this, it tells you who you are and what is your quality. So it's very important. It's a teamwork. So wherever possible, you have to reflect your teamwork. So please don't say that I did it. It is myself. If you, me, myself is a prohibited word in an interview. When it comes to, you should show that you are part of it. Of course, you have achieved your mark. It is not a group work. It is your individual work. But other activities, it is always a team which comes into it. If you have not remembered anything in this 25 minutes talk, I will tell you, request you only one thing. Please remember this statement. Your attitude decides your altitude. I repeat, your attitude decides your altitude. Where you want to be in the life purely depends on your attitude. And attitude comes by grooming, by your parents, by your friends, by your professors, teachers. Everything makes your attitude. And attitude is very important. If he has the right attitude, I have no problem. I told you, the guy who came one day previous and did a survey about the area where the office is, and it shows the attitude of the person. He is very organized. He knows that I have to be on time. He takes an effort to do it. It's an attitude. And I always tell my HR team, you give me an average person, it's okay. But he should be having the good attitude. He should have the right attitude. If you have the right attitude, I can mold any ordinary person also. Because he has the attitude to learn. But if the other way, if your attitude is a problem, then you may be the best, you may get 90%, 95%, but if your attitude is wrong, you cannot move forward. It's very important when you join a company. Okay, you get through with your interviews, you get selected, you are there in the company. Now, you come, I'm just giving an example. You find a person from an ordinary engineering college. Say, I don't know whether it's here, but say for example, Meenakshi Engineering College, and you are from SRM University. You don't walk around with your nose high up the institute. You never do that. So you don't. So you don't go and with a nose up in the air that I am from SRM University. You be humble, you be polite, you be very helpful to the other person. It tells you about, it reflects your attitude. Your attitude will really show, especially when you come for promotions. The attitude is very important. I can tell you the example of, because we in Danaher has got the person who introduced me talked about Danaher business system. I am a certified trainer in Danaher. Danaher has got a Danaher business system. There are various tools in the business system. It's something with the Toyota productivity system. Toyota has got a productivity system, and Danaher's business system have to do with a lot of this Six Sigma. How many of you have heard of Six Sigma? How many of you know what is the Six Sigma? Six Sigma is a quality level at the highest. You have first Sigma, second Sigma, third Sigma, fourth Sigma. First Sigma is 64.3% ppm. What is a ppm?
Parts per million.
Parts per million. 63.8%. When you come to fourth Sigma, it is you are 98.8 ppm. When you come to fifth Sigma, you are 99.3. That is fifth Sigma, not the top. The sixth Sigma is 99.9 parts per million, which is 0.01 is rejected. Which is a company in India, which is an organization in India, which is the only Six Sigma ppm? You might have read it. If you have not read it, I tell you it's the Mumbai Dabbawalas. You have heard about the Mumbai Dabbawalas? They send almost 1 million dabba across the Mumbai city, and the error of the wrong dabba going to the wrong person is 0.01 in a million, in 10 lakhs. That's the accuracy, Six Sigma. Okay. So Danaher business system talks about these things. So I am certified in not Six Sigma, other things. So one of the things we talk about is all Japanese word. We talk about go Gemba. Gemba means workplace. In Japanese, Gemba means workplace. So you go Gemba, we say go to the Gemba and find out what it is. It takes a lot of attitude to really go to the Gemba, because most of people, okay, you're in the front level, you can do it. But when you go to the field and when you workplace, you get to know what's really happening. Don't sit in an ivory tower and talk big things. Go to Gemba and you do it. Now why I'm saying is, it depends on the attitude. When there's a problem, when there's a demo, I talked about Hari Prasad, good things. Bad things, I will talk to him personally. Good things, I would like to talk to the friend of the crowd. He doesn't do bad things, he's a good boy. The thing is, we had a demo, and he had just finished his travel he works for South India. He looks after the entire South India. He's based in Chennai, looks after the 4 states, travels extensively. The doctor said in Calicut that you have to do a demo. I need the demo for 4 days on newborn babies. He reached there on a Friday. We are an American company, 5 days a week, Saturday, Sundays off. Weekend, we get into a weekend. By Saturday afternoon, we are all lazy. And we just relax. And only on Monday, we drag ourselves. Like that, most of us. not all, most of us. But this doctor said, he said, okay, I'll stay back. He called me up and said, this is what it is. I said, is it okay for you to stay back? He said, okay. I'm also okay because he's a bachelor, so he may not worry about a family. So it's okay. He stayed back after a 5 days tour. He stayed back on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday he came. In our company, there is a compensatory offer. If I work on a holiday, then I can take 1 day comp off. But in a month, I can take only 1 comp off. Even that comp off he didn't take. Attitude. It's very, very important. When I look at it, why I'm saying this is, that's why SRM University comes. When I said probably it's coaching of SRM University, maybe this guy is so good. So the next time when I get an SRM University senior, I will break. If it is the other way around, because we also see such people. We also, I don't know, we all don't work in a corporate, and since there is no one around in corporate, I can say, corporate is like a zoo, Vandalu zoo. You will see monkeys jumping around. You will see the lion roaring around, people keeping quiet when the lion comes. You will see the tigers screaming. You will see the snakes quietly coming and biting at the back. You will see scorpions. It's a zoo. You have to survive in such an environment. So it shows your attitude. If your attitude is like this, people will not, this is Hari Studia, I can depend on it. He will do it. But there are calm jokes. You tell him on a Friday afternoon, he will say, sir, actually I have to catch a bus to go to Kattankulathur. My mother is not well, so I have to go. He will bring his mother for no reason. And then he will not go for the job. Then 3 times he will do it. I know, okay, this personality is like that. Probably I will never even look at him for a promotion. Because if this is your attitude, how can you move forward? That's why I said your attitude decides your altitude. As I told you, if you don't remember anything else, please remember this statement. Down the line, after 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you think my attitude was good. That's why I am here. Okay. Fine. Another thing which I commonly say is the name of the game is hard work. There is no elevator to success. Today, it's an instant world. Sorry. I am from a different generation. Dr. Kattankulathur is from a different generation. You all are in a different generation. In my generation, people used to wear a cap like this. In this generation, the cap goes like this. In my generation, buttons have to be put after you wear a t-shirt. And this generation, buttons, shirts have to be like this and you show your back. I have a grown-up son. I know it. It's challenging. In my generation, we were asked to pull the pant like this. My grandmother gives a whack. And in this generation, the guy bends, you can see half his pant. That's a fact of life. So it's a generation which is totally different from where you are. So we also adjust yourself so that everything goes fine. But then, I repeat, there is no shortcut. Today you have shortcut with WhatsApp and Facebook and everything you have got a shortcut. But in life, there is no shortcut to success. There is no elevator. Please remember, there is no elevator. You have to climb step by step by step so that your foundation is strong. You can get an elevator if you are the son of a chairman or something. But then your fall will be equally fast like elevator. So, hard work is important. My sincere advice to all of you, I think I have the age on my side to advise you. Hard work is very important. I was posted in a place called Vellore. I was covered place like Kadalur. I don't know how many of you know Penadal, Thitakudi, small villages. You had, as a sales rep, you had to work and go in a cycle. I never grumbled. It's part of my job. And today I am where I am. With all humility I am telling. Name of the game is hard work. Okay. Then, I think I have told about this. You reflect your institution. Very, very important. Every action you do and every reaction you do has a direct consequence on SRM. I told this to Dr. Amburaji that I am happy because Hari is from this university. If I get the reverse, I will not even step into a college if I see that person is not there. One individual reflects the whole institute. See how important you are. You think you are nothing, but you are very important in the marketplace. If you do well, you get your alumni network and you get. Now we are talking about, I was just sharing with certain things which we are planning from the marketing side for the end of the year, something which I shared with him. Why did I think about that opportunity? Why did I look at it? Because there is an example. In Tamil there is a saying, to find the pot full of rice, whether it is boiled or not, you don't have to dip your hand into the pot. One rice is enough to know whether the rice is boiled or not. So similarly, one person is enough for me to think about SRM. Very important. Finally, lastly, you create your opportunity. The opportunity are big. Girls want to get into research, R&D is good. Sales has got its own flavor. It's challenging. You go to places, you visit places. His annual meeting this time was in Bangkok, Pattaya. At this age, his colleagues are still in Chennai and Bangalore. He was already there in Bangkok for 5 days. 3 days, Pattaya. In Pattaya for 3 days. So sales has its own ups, Saturday, Sunday, sacrificing. It has its own the other side. R&D is good. There are a lot of R&D opportunities coming up. Radiometer Copenhagen has got a big R&D team. If you are doing good, if you have done your MTech, and then you go into R&D, most of these companies are in Europe and US, you can get into R&D. Today in India also, R&D is coming. GE, Stryker, and GE has made an ECG monitor especially for Indian country, in a tropical country like India, very sturdy one. This is coming through only R&D from people like you. So R&D for girls, R&D is a good opportunity. Sales is also there. Hospitals need biomedical engineers. If the machine is not working, the doctor will not touch. He needs a biomedical engineer. So hospitals, corporate also needs. So the opportunities are plenty. Opportunities are plenty which is there. Only you have to step out with the right attitude. Never have an attitude that this is not for me, it's a cheap job. Never think that it's a cheap job. Because if it's a cheap job, then 10 years down the line, you will still be in a cheap job. If your attitude is right. Otherwise, you move forward. Okay. So that's what I thought I should share with you. Because it's a bright world outside. You don't have to feel scared about what am I going to do. Because it's a challenge, competition is there. But you believe in yourself and you take some points. Whatever you feel is good. I have shared 10 points. There are many more. Enthusiasm, another risk. This is part of attitude. You have to be an enthusiastic person when you talk about it. If you are not enthusiastic about yourself, don't expect your father and mother to be enthusiastic. You have to do it. So enthusiasm is like that. There are many points. But these are the points which I felt I should share with you because you are blooming, bright students coming out of a good university like this. There is a corporate which is looking for it, and I tell you, we always find it a struggle to get the right candidate. And very sadly I say, we get engineers with MBA. Still I will not say. Either he is not good in his communication or he is not good in his attitude. Because if I take that person just because he is a BE, MBA, then I will have to struggle for 3-4 years and finally he has to leave. So better I will wait. I have seen it. I am telling you. Honestly, I can tell you from the position where I am. I don't mind if I get a BA also. Even if it's a BA graduate with an ordinary BA, but if his attitude is good, I give you a simple example of, this is the last example I'm going to give. In Northeast, in Assam, we recruited a person. It was a training session. So I was training there. There were 7-8 people. People saying, I am the biomedical engineer. One guy was an MTech also. For frontline sales, sales and service. After that, this guy came and this guy said in his typical Assami English, he said, sir, I am not like any of them, sir. I am just a graduate. So that humility touched me. And you know, this year in Bangkok, he got the best salesperson award. It is the attitude. It is the way he is a BA. He is a graduate and there were BE and MTech people there. He stood first. So it's not, qualification is one thing. We look at qualification because that makes our job easy. But most important is attitude. Your attitude is all about for a good job. So thanks for the opportunity for giving me to give this talk. And I wish you all the very best for a bright career. Good luck.
Any questions? Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative. Now, I would like to call upon Mankavalli ma'am to deliver the word of thanks.
Faculty of Students and the Department of Biomedical Engineering, I would like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Kennedy Victor, Director Marketing and Business Development, Radiometer, and Mr. Hari Prasad, Application Specialist, Radiometer, Alumni SRM, for sharing their knowledge and experience about the industry and the recruitment process. And I'm sure the students will keep in mind the guidelines which you have given and aspire to eliminate the talent mismatch which happens nowadays at these high altitudes. Thank you, sirs, for spending your time.
We have done for this.